Engage your. Remember, you have people staying. You ready?
No, I said nine. I was thinking nine. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It is? I don't hear it. Yeah. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes,
Testing, 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 testing.
thank you.
Is it there? Hello? Can we turn the gain up somehow? Is that a thing? Is it in the back?
Can
Alright.
you hear me?
Speak loud for now. We'll give you a minute, just for the sake of time.
I have a big mouth. Hello?
Testing, test.
Hello? Hello?
No, nothing.
Can you hear me?
We have sound. Hello? Hello? Microphone check. 1, 2. Hello? No, no, no. I hear something. One, two. Yeah, we have a little. Hello, hello. Can you hear me out there? Yeah. Better. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we'd like to open our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we all stand, please? Brett for solicitor announcements.
All right, good evening, everyone. Obviously, we're having a couple microphone issues, so until we have it resolved, we're going to do our best of accommodation of what sound we have and just ask that everybody speak up throughout the proceedings this evening. As for announcements,
I can solve that microphone issue if you let me move the podium.
She can.
I'm a sound person.
okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's okay with that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
This way it's out of the, if you tilt this up, you're tilting it into the speakers, so by having the podium here, the mic's going directly into speakers, we have the problem with the council meeting.
Absolutely understood about the feedback. We're actually just not getting enough gain in our microphones, so I'm loud. I know. Yeah, I'm not worried about you hearing me. I'm worried about you hearing the board members and the witnesses. But thank you. Hopefully, maybe we'll resolve this.
So if you're not getting enough, just speak closer to the mic.
Got it.
Thank you.
Test.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. You can stand up and still be heard with the mic pointing down. So is that better?
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Executive session. The board met in executive session prior to this evening's hearing to discuss questions of law related to this evening's applications. As for meeting procedures, first off, we've had 2 changes to the agenda, and I'll actually make 3 notes on the agenda. First, we recognize the date is incorrect on the agenda if you picked one up. It says February 27th, but it is indeed this evening's agenda for April 30th. Application 2-4 of 24 for 741 Westwood Lane in Alden has been continued to the May 28th meeting. So that application will not be heard this evening. If you're here for that application, it will not be discussed. You'll please rejoin us on the 4th Tuesday in May, May 28th, and that presentation will occur at that time. The other application is application 4-1 of 24, 111, 113 Long Lane, the application of Student Run Emergency Housing Unit of Philadelphia, Inc. I'm sorry, I'm talking fast, Bridget. I apologize. That application has been withdrawn. So that will not be heard tonight or at a future meeting. But if there's any other applications for that property or by that applicant, notice will be provided. It will appear on agenda and it will be in our published notice in the Delaware County Times. So there will be no hearing on 4-1 of 24 for 111-113 Long Lane. So similarly, if you're here for that application, feel free to go or feel free to stay and watch us do our work. As for this evening's hearings that will be heard, as I mentioned, there are agendas at the front. Next to those agendas are party status request forms. There are 2 ways to participate in this evening's hearings. At the end of each application, we will give the public an opportunity to provide comment. Comment are statements in support or in opposition of the relief requested on that individual application. If you feel that you have a elevated interest in an application, that you are particularly affected by the relief being sought in an application, you can request what's called party status. Party status will allow you to question the applicant and their witnesses, present evidence and testimony of your own. You will receive a copy of the board's written decision, and it also affords you the ability to take an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas of Delaware County should you disagree with the board's decision on that application. At the beginning of each application, I will ask if anybody is interested in party status. There will be some questions that go along with that, and we will determine if you are eligible. But if you intend to request party status for any of the applications, please fill out the form that's on the front table. That gives us the appropriate contact information so that we can keep you apprised of any developments on the application as it proceeds through our process, including receiving that copy of the board's decision, as I mentioned. Madam Chair, I believe that's all the announcements I have. And I will note that before you do read the notice, the first hearing we have tonight, 5 of 24 for 8520 Monroe Avenue is a continued application. So that was previously heard at the February meeting, and we're resuming that this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Application of Kevin Rogani for a variance from section 550-15D, table 4.2, a 2-family semi-detached dwelling to permit a smaller lot size of 3,396 square feet per parcel when 6,000 square feet per parcel is required. A variance from section 550-15D, table 4.2, a 2-family semi-detached dwelling to permit a minimum lot width of 27 feet 3 inches at the building line when 35 feet is required. A variance from section 550-15D, table 4.2, a single-family semi-detached dwelling to permit the existing dwelling to have a minimum lot width of 27 feet 9 inches where 35 feet is required. A variance from section 550-33A, table 8.1, to permit 3 parking spaces per new lot when each new lot is required to provide 4 parking spaces. The location is 8520 Monroe Avenue in Upper Darby, PA. It's an R3 residential district in the 4th Council District.
Mr. Lavin, welcome back. We'll only mark one additional we'll mark 2 additional ZHP exhibits. ZHP 4 will be the proof of publication for this hearing, and ZHP 5 will be the notice photos for this hearing as well. Mr. Lavin, the floor is yours. I believe we had, they can be,
Sorry.
they can be handed up, but if you want
All
to
right.
mark them as an applicant's exhibit, I apologize. I don't remember where we are in that list off the top of my head, but I can mark it as the next.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
Can I have your name, please? Your
Yeah,
first name
George,
and your
last name's Lavin, Lavin. What I can do is really, I guess, just start off refreshing everybody's recollection to some extent. This is on Monroe Avenue, which is right off Lansdowne, behind the Public Works area. The existing property is 1/2 of an existing twin with a large vacant lot on it. What we are proposing, and what we did propose at the last meeting, was to add a set of 4, Okay, all right. What we are proposing is to add 4 apartment units on the vacant lot. Last time we were here, I believe the board had some questions as to orientation and size and access to and from the lots. And what we have done is add additional parking and added a driveway down the far side of the existing lot. What we have here is I have Thomas Wiedemann, who's the architect that did the redesign, that I can call up and have him just walk you through what we have done since you've been here the last time. Or we've been here the last time, I apologize. Okay, Tom, why don't you?
Can you raise your right hand, please? Swear or testify? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Your full name, please?
Thomas Wiedemann,
Spell your last name.
Wiedenman.
Thank you.
We actually have the new exhibit, which we are,
Okay.
thanks, Josh. It's actually up on the board, and what I'd like to do is just either have Tom walk you through the changes he's made and why they were made, and, or I can address them. But the main concerns, I think, were access to the parking at the rear of the lot. So a new driveway is in, and then the orientation of the 4 units that were put in have been reoriented. So Tom, go ahead and just, however you would like to discuss it is fine.
Yeah, at the original meeting, we had proposed a 4-unit small apartment building. And there were questions about that not meeting the use, which that zoning area, it's duplexes are approved. So we've gone back to, one of our previous ideas of doing a duplex twin. So it's a twin building with 2 apartments on each side. And each property will have 3 parking spaces. And the 4 units are all 2 bedrooms. So basically what we're looking for variances would be the width, we're a couple feet short. Right now we have, it looks like 11 feet the setback on the side.
Mr. Lavin,
Yes.
I'll note for the record that your updated plans will be marked as A7.
A7, okay, thank you. What we tried to do, I think, is center the lots on the setback. So the setback on the sides is equivalent for all the buildings that are there. And I think we're shortening the setback on the existing twin by several feet also to make it proportional. And to make the other lots fit. If you could, can you scroll down to the actual apartments, Josh? I'm sorry, sure. This just shows on the bottom right, the front view from the street, Monroe Avenue, looking up. There'll actually be 2 doors at the front, and then I believe 2 on the side for the entrances to the lower units or the upper units. And then to the left, you see the units, they're essentially identical at the top and bottom floors. And there is a driveway to the far side of the lot that is currently vacant with parking spots all across the back. I think if you scroll down to the last screen or the last page, Josh, you can see the parking and the access. Yeah. Yeah, Tom, if you could just explain the parking and the driveways on there.
Currently, we're showing shared driveway between the existing building and the new building. Currently, there is a driveway there with parking in the back, so we're looking to mimic that It'll be a shared driveway, and each of the new buildings will have 3 parking spots. I guess the existing could have 3. It looks like we were showing 2. Okay, 3. So the existing will have 3. Each apartment has its own entrance. Each apartment has its own exterior deck. The first floor units have covered porches on the front to match the rest of the neighborhood. And the second floor has a balcony out front.
So I think for the new structure, we are 1 parking spot per side of the structure short. But as we discussed last time, the street parking there on Monroe in the evenings and most of the daytime hours is more than sufficient, we believe. So we don't see that being a problem. I think we explained everything else the last time. If you all have any other questions, we can certainly readdress it. You know, as we stated last time, the hardship is the commercialization of the area around there, where Mr. Rogani feels this is the best use of the space, given the commercialization and the fact that it would be difficult to build a single-family home that would sell for or could be rented out for the expenses of putting in that structure. If you'd like to hear from Mr. Rogani, I can put him up also. If you have any questions, I think we're set.
Sorry, but do you have a question at this point?
I just want to know when I can speak on this. I'm not sure how it works, but I'd like to.
Were you here for the last hearing?
No,
Okay,
and go ahead.
you can finish.
What's that?
You can finish.
I was going to hear what you had to say first. I have something to say about this. I'm in the neighborhood right across the street. I didn't see the first notice because bushes were blocked from my house, so I didn't make the last one, and it was put up pretty late, but that's neither here nor there. So, but I saw this notice, and I'd like to have something to say.
So are you requesting party status then? Were you here for my
Well,
announcement about party
You explained
status?
that people would have a chance to say something, or we could request the party status and
Correct.
have a hearing, want to present with us. If you recommend that, that's fine. I just, as a person who lived there, I'm not a professional. I don't have all these.
So I
people.
can't recommend how you participate. You have to determine that for yourself. I just need to know so I can guide you through how to participate if you're requesting party status or you're going to just make public statements at the conclusion of the testimony that's being presented.
I just as a person who lives there, I would just like to have something to say. If
Okay. We'll give you an opportunity to make a statement at the end. It's just if you wanted to ask their attorney or the applicant or their architect questions, that's a different process.
Absolutely not. No, I understood that. I thought he was done. I thought he said he was done. So
I will,
Yes.
I will certainly recognize you
Thank
at the time. Another question.
As a councilwoman and I live in the area, I don't know if I can have party status because of my role as a councilwoman, but I do have questions.
So you can't participate in this proceeding as a councilwoman. You can participate in this proceeding as a member of the community.
Okay.
If you are a near neighbor,
I'm
we can.
I'm not as close as she is, but I live, I guess, maybe a mile away.
Okay, so typically a mile away is beyond the perimeter that we grant party status in. But even, are you 2 blocks away? Or
No,
further?
it's harder.
Okay, so we typically wouldn't grant party status for that distance. However, we can certainly provide you the opportunity to make statements and
Expression.
during public comment. Yep. Thank you. Is there anybody else who has any questions about how to participate in this hearing? We'll resume then with board questions of their architect.
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I was looking at your diagram up there versus what we have here. So I just want to understand that the two twins are connect, there'll be two twins. And they'll be connected by a party wall, right?
Correct.
On the new structure,
I'm sorry.
correct.
So then the driveway for all of the tenants would be on which side? Is it in the middle? Because I might have been on the wrong
It's
page.
in the middle.
It is in the
Between the
center.
existing building and the new building, so right in the middle.
And there's also one on the far side, Tom, on the far side of the lot.
Not the far side where.
There's a driveway on both sides of the new,
There's two, actually.
So it is.
One on each side of the twin.
Okay, on each side of the twins. Okay.
and then we show 3 parking spots behind each side of the twin for a total of 6 behind the twin.
And so that is, you calculating a total of what was that?
There would be 6 new parking spots with, I think, 2 to 3 existing ones on the existing twin lot.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
There would be 6 new parking spots for the new apartments that are going in, and then there would be 2 more formal spots on the existing twin lot.
Okay.
So, and this is kind of oh wow, this mic really isn't working. So this is just kind of the piggyback off the other board member. Relating to the parking spots, the one driveway is a shared driveway, but you have 3 parking spots allocated for each property. Is there anything to prevent people from parking in the other 2 parking spots which are used for the other property to make sure that there's like even a consistent usage?
I'm sure there'll be signs. You
Okay.
know, it's,
But nothing.
that's the neighbor's property, so it's, you
Okay.
know, they'll have to take care of that. Keep an eye out.
And I mean, I know we discussed this at the last application, but just to revisit it, the exact reasoning for, I guess, the density of this property, could you go a little bit in, sorry, could you go a little bit into the reasoning as to why specifically this property and why this many units?
Sure. You want to speak to your
That may be a better question for Mr. Regani. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your full name, please?
Yeah, Kevin Rogani,
Spell your last
ROWGHANI.
Did you testify at the last hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so your question was why the hardship? What's,
Or just if you could go a little bit more into why this many units for this property?
yeah, so as George mentioned earlier, the property is surrounded by a lot of township buildings. So on the back of the property, you have the sanitization department. Further up the street, one parcel further, you have the electrical department and streets departments. Directly across the street, you have a duplex and a triplex. In addition to that, you also have a carpet business right across the street from the house, the front of 8520 Monroe. So it's not really feasible to put a single family home in that kind of location because there's other parcels within the township that are more neighborhood, but this spot is kind of become commercialized. Further down Monroe, there's a auto body shop and various other commercial businesses that are, I think, still zoned as R3.
And then I guess my question would be, since you guys are proposing the 3 parking spots, which is one less than what you guys would be required, has there been any thought as to where, if they were to have 4 cars, what your process would be for that?
Well, on the street, there's a lot of trucks and vehicles parked by township folks on Monroe. And then directly across the street to Ascot Carpet, they have multiple trucks there during the daytime. And then in the evenings and weekends, they're not present. So there is on-street parking. It's not always busy, such as right down here, 69th Street. I think last time we came, we had a video showing, you know, how open it was on weekends and evenings.
Did we have a video? I don't remember. I don't remember. Did we have a video?
There were some, I can't recall if images or videos of
Oh, okay.
the yard.
Yes. Okay. Those are all the questions I have, at least for the moment.
I have no questions.
Any other questions? Madam Chair?
Anything further with, I mean, we're kind of doing a hybrid version. here.
Understood.
Anything further with your witnesses?
No, I think we're fine.
Any other evidence or testimony?
No, that's it.
And I guess last question, anything else you want to add? Or I'll actually give you an opportunity after we
Sure.
get public comment.
That's fine.
All right, so at this point, we'll do public comment. So ma'am, this is your opportunity to come up. Once you get up here, if you can state your name, the court reporter will swear you in, and then you can give your public comment.
Thank you. Alicia Ippoliti.
Please spell your last name.
I, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, O-L-I, T as in Tom, I.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Please swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes. Okay. I apologize. I am not a professional. I live at 28 South Harwood, which is the back of my yard, faces the twin house that they were referring to. I just figured this is what we're supposed to do if I don't agree with something that's happening in my neighborhood. I can make a statement, but I just want to say, Mr. Rogani's obviously a landlord, developer, whatever, doesn't live there. The lot that they're referring to, if you stood in front of it, is very, very small, which brings me to, they're asking for what, 43%? That's a lot. But what I just wanted to say is it is a family neighborhood. There is one apartment across the street. I believe that these ordinances and everything are made for a specific reason. The parking, we have overflow on that corner all the time. There's only parking on one side of the street, no trucks or anything park across from the carpet company, and he only uses his driveway. And most of that other side is driveways because of the places he spoke of, the duplex and the other people. The neighborhood is a good, quiet neighborhood, even though there is all those commercial places, because they have been, the carpet company's been there since my in-laws lived at my house, 50 years. No disturbances. It's not becoming commercialized. The garbage trucks park at the end of the street and the police gas up their cars. Other than that, it's a very quiet neighborhood. The parking is very hard to come by. And also, the lot is very small. He's asking to build something, for what reason? Seems to maximize profits and not to do anything to better the neighborhood. Building something and bringing more people in, I don't even know how. 4 families, I don't know. I just hope you would take into consideration that really, it's not needed in our neighborhood. I don't think it's going to contribute to anything. The parking's already an issue. I just don't think we should put large buildings on 2 small lots just for large profits. I thought that, this was a suburb and a town, and we're going to slap up more things. Sorry if I'm not talking professional, just a little. I'm very nervous, but I figured I would have my say, and hopefully you'll take into consideration. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ippoliti. In procedure, if you don't mind stating your name for the record and the court reporter swearing.
Hi, I'm Laura Wentz, W-E-N-T-Z.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Do you need my address? Okay. Getting confused between council and zoning. Okay, so I'm very familiar with the area. I do believe it's a green space, even though there's no building on the property right now, but it is grassy. I think there's possibly 1 or 2 trees there, so I'm concerned about trees that would have to be cut down to build this property, which would create more problems for the neighbors as far as rainwater going into their basements. Because I've had neighbors cut down trees near me and I get more water now. Trees are amazing at absorbing all the rainwater. And I'm concerned that putting in this type of impervious surface into what is currently a green space, will they be planting trees? Will they do anything to replace the trees that are already there? Those are my concern for neighbors who will have to deal with more water in their basements and so forth. So those are where my concerns are. And it is, and just to say, I've walked that neighborhood a lot. It is a very residential, the commercial side is closer to Township Line. The few businesses that are along Monroe are pretty quiet, and but I have seen cars parked there at all hours of the day and night on the street. So I do agree with the resident about her concerns on the parking and the fact that it is really a residential neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other members of the public who would like to give comment on this application? Seeing none, Mr. Levin, is there anything else you want to add to sum up?
Yes, let me just ask Mr. Regani a question or two regarding the commercialization of the area. It's my understanding the commercialization you're referring to is your backyard or your backyards. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's more than just the backyard. It's the backyard and also the other half of Monroe that begins before my property on the other side with Ascot carpet or whatever they're called today. And then from that point down, all the way down to the bend where all the other commercial buildings are. But directly behind my property, for sure, there's at least a dozen or two sanitary trucks and other vehicles that I could bring up about.
And as far as the parking, it's your testimony that the parking in the evenings is okay. And is there enough room on the property itself for people to park, say, in the driveway?
Yeah, so the property depth is 120 feet. So there's 6 for the new structure, and then there's 3 for the existing. The existing structure is a single family. It's not a duplex. There is parking out front, and the other half of Monroe, away from the prior speakers, there is open parking. Where they're talking about towards the other end, towards Harwood, there is a family business at the corner that runs a stucco construction business, and there are trucks down that way, but there's a lot of residents and other businesses down that way towards the back end of Harwood, which runs the next street parallel or somewhat parallel to Monroe.
And one last question. There was a concern about trees and things like that. Are you willing to replace trees and repopulate if, I don't even know if there are trees on the lot right now?
Yeah, so there was 2 trees and a couple really old dilapidated shrubs. So in the last 6 months or 8 months, there was a storm that came through that knocked over one of the trees into another tree. Well, there was 2 trees. Now we're down to 1 tree. And that 1 tree sits up against the power lines that runs on the 8520 side of Monroe Avenue.
That's all the questions, all I wanted to do. We will rest.
Madam Chair, the applicant is rested and it's time for consideration by the board.
Thank you.
Yeah. No. I'm so lost in my.
Madam Chair, it would be appropriate this time if the board had a motion.
Yes, we'd like to make a motion that we'd like to make a motion to approve the application with the following condition, that you will comply with all landscaping and stormwater within the Saldo, and the 8 parking spots that are in the rear, that they will be lined with either gravel, crushed stone, or any pervious materials.
So just to be clear, before there's action on the motion, the requirements for planting, landscaping, and stormwater in the Saldo, they must be complied with. So whatever the planning requirements are outlined in the township's regulations, whatever that count is for plantings need to be done.
I just want to make a point. I'd be careful. There's another section that we don't allow parking on anything but asphalt gravel. So it would have to be like a pervious paver specifically. We won't allow parking on gravel. Before you finish the
Well,
motion,
the condition was crushed gravel, crushed stone, or similar pervious material. So whatever complies with the township's regulations would have to fall in those categories, whatever that is.
Okay.
We'll leave that to you. So if there's I think the motion needs a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. You'll receive a written decision of the board within 45 days.
Thanks.
Okay, moving right along. Application 42/24 of David Enterprises Inc. for variance section 539 C1 to permit an 8-foot high fence or 6-foot is the maximum allowable height of variance section 569 to permit a change in the front yard when it's only allowed
Put the mic closer to your mouth, please. We can't hear.
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me better?
Thank you for your time.
The pro,
Wasting your time. Thank you, guys.
Ma'am,
Want this counted?
Jim, please leave, thank you.
okay, so the property is located at 6845 Marshall Road in Upper Darby, a C1 Commercial District, 6th Council District.
Right, before the applicant begins, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application, ZHB2 will be the proof of publication, and ZHB3 will be the notice photos. Are there any persons present this evening who are requesting party status for application 4-2 of 24? All right, seeing none, Mr. Miller.
If I could pass out some, please.
Thank you.
So if I may, just as a way of introduction, my name's Charles Miller. I'm representing Ava Enterprises NJ Inc. here this evening. They are the owners of 6845 Marshall Road. With me is its principal, Mohammed Mariko, who operates Ava Motors at that location. My client's property is located on the corner, it's a corner lot located in the C1 Commercial Zoning District with frontage on Marshall and Barrington Roads. To the rear and directly across the street are residential properties zoned R3. Next door on Barrington, across the street, is a commercial establishment. There's other commercial establishments along Marshall Road going east. We are before you this evening requesting two variances, both related to fencing, proposed fencing at the property. One is a fence materials. For this particular property, all that's permitted is, chain link fence is not permitted in the side or rear yards because this is a corner property. There's 2 front yards. So chain link can only be inside and rear, cannot be in the front. We have 2 front yards, so we're requesting a variance in order to put chain link. There's existing chain link already there along Marshall Road, also along Barrington, but a little further back next to the property's buildings. And then also requesting a variance in order to permit the fence to be, instead of 6 foot, to be a total as high as a maximum of 8 feet, which would eliminate the need for any barbed areas or other types of security on that fencing. So the exhibit packet, I think they're already been entered in evidence, but pictures that my client took of the posting as Exhibit A1, and with that, I would call Mr. Marico.
Mr. Miller, just to be clear, the chain link fence is only permitted in the side and rear. It is not permitted in the front, and that's why you're asking for the variance.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can I have your name?
Mohammed Mariko.
You want to spell that last name?
Can you spell it?
Mariko.
Mr. Mariko, are you the owner and operator of Ava Motors located at 6845 Marshall Road?
Yes.
And are you the principal of Ava Enterprises NJ Inc., who is the applicant here this evening?
Yes.
And you own the property, or Ava Enterprises owns that property at 6845 Marshall?
We do, yeah.
And Exhibit A2 of the packet is a deed. Is that the deed, your deed for this property?
It is, yes.
Okay. Can you describe briefly and to summarize for the board what Ava Motors does at that location?
We're an auto body shop that sells service, auto body and towing.
And how many employees do you have?
We have 6 employees,
How many car bays?
6 car bays.
Can you describe the property at 6845 Marshall?
It's located on the corner of Marshall Road and Barrington Road.
And what buildings are located at the property?
On Barrington is residential, and on Marshall is a mixture of residential and commercial.
And on your property, do you have 2 buildings on that property?
We do, yes.
And what are they?
What
are they used for?
The one towards the rear are body bays and mechanic bays, and the 2 up front is the office and the paint booth.
All right.
The what? The paint?
Paint booth, yeah.
Paint?
Yep, yeah.
I've got, if you could turn to Exhibit A3, the first page there is a Google Maps that has a highlighted red area. Is that is that your property highlighted in red? I think it's the page there.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And you talked about your, on the corner there. Do you have existing fencing at the property?
We do, yes.
And where is that located?
It's on the side of Barrington and further back on Marshall.
And was that fencing at the property when you bought it?
It was existing when I bought it, yes.
Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, that fencing both has like barbed areas at the top, is that correct?
Yeah, it's an 8-foot fence with barbed wire.
Okay. And what type of fencing is that?
Chain link.
So you're here tonight requesting to install chain link around the perimeter of the property, is that correct?
That's correct.
And because you're on a corner lot, those are both front yards, you can't have chain link in that, those front yards or along that perimeter, is that correct?
That's correct.
But you already have chain link fencing on Marshall Road, which would be a front yard, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're asking here tonight is you'll be putting additional fencing along the perimeter of Barrington as well as Marshall, is that correct?
Yes.
And would you be removing any of the fencing?
No.
And can you explain to the board why you need fencing in those front yards?
Just provide security for our business.
And is there anything unique about your property that has caused issues where you need fencing along that perimeter?
It's a odd-shaped, building on a busy,
Building.
a odd-shaped building on the intersection of, Marshall and Barrington. It's pretty visible to the street, and it gets a lot of attention coming up and down Marshall Road.
And those are residents up behind your property?
Yeah, on Barrington.
Okay, and have you had any issues with security at the property?
I have.
And can you describe to the board what those are?
We've had our tow truck stolen, we had parts stolen off of cars, we had people sleeping in cars, and we had a lot of through-fare traffic from Barrington to get to Marshall as a shortcut.
So they cut through your kind of parking lot area in front of your office to get to Marshall sometimes?
They do, yeah.
Okay. You have chain link at the property existing, and you're proposing chain link. Is there a reason why you want chain link as to some other type of fencing?
Chain link would be more reasonable for the commercial property. Vinyl and wood, you just won't be able to see through it, with it being at a commercial building, and it's not secure enough for what we need it for.
And you're asking to be higher than 6 feet. You're saying that the fencing there currently is about approximately 8 feet, they're the existing?
Yeah.
Okay, and why do you think you need more than the 6 feet that the code allows?
6 feet is you can easily climb over it. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of valuables, and we do a lot of storage for insurance. So we just wanted to make sure everything is secure.
And do you think 8 feet from the ground level, that maximum height would provide you with the necessary security if the board were allowed to give you that relief?
It would, yes.
And your experience in the auto body repair field, is this type of fencing customary?
It is.
And do most of the people in your industry have fencing around their establishments?
They do, yes.
Okay. If the board denied your request, do you think you'd be negatively impacted or be subject to some sort of hardship?
I will, yeah.
And can you summarize what that would be?
My trucks might possibly get stolen again, parts would be getting stolen, and just people just hanging out in the parked cars that we have in our driveway.
In your opinion, if you were granted the relief by the board, would the chain link fencing in the front yard negatively impact the neighborhood?
No.
What do you think, in your opinion, would it change the character of the neighborhood?
No.
Would it present or endanger the health, safety, and welfare of the neighboring residents or the residents of Upper Darby Township?
No.
Is the relief you requested, the chain link, to permit a maximum of 8 feet in height, is that the minimum necessary in order to provide you with the adequate security for the property?
Yeah.
Without chain link fencing around the perimeter, do you believe your property is properly secure?
No.
Exhibit A4 of the packet are pictures of the property. I forgot to ask you, can you thumb through those for me, just to look at them? And what I'm going to ask you is whether those pictures fairly and accurately represent what the property looks like today.
Yeah.
I don't have anything further. Board questions?
Have you considered other type of barriers to be put up,
I have, yeah.
like cement block or concrete?
I have.
And can you describe why those don't suit your needs?
So concrete wouldn't work. It's because if we put concrete up 6 foot or 8 foot high, it just gives us a blind spot. There's nothing, it's like we're blindsided. We can't see through the concrete, and it just wouldn't work.
People wouldn't be able to see through the concrete, obviously.
Right, but we won't be able to see through the concrete. So let's say someone was,
You'll be on the inside basically of like a building.
right, we'll be trapped like in our parking lot. We won't be able to see if it's 8 feet high and we're sitting in our parking lot, we won't be able to see what's coming to our shop.
And you have barbed wire on top of it right now?
We have barbed wire on top of the existing 8 foot fence, yeah.
And that has not been approved by us.
It was there prior when I bought the building. It was prior fencing.
Why then did the pictures show parked cars there, that there was an area that didn't have any?
I'm sorry.
Are you referencing the gate along Marshall?
How far are you intending to put your fence, your 8-foot high fence up?
It's gonna surround a building. So it's gonna be coming from the existing fence that's on Marshall. It's gonna wrap around Barrington.
And would that enclose that parking or that front area, paved area?
It would. It's pretty much the paved area and then the wall that's alongside of the building.
So I guess the question is, in the first picture that you included in A4, there's a white F-250 parked in the corner there.
Okay.
Would that white truck be within the fence after you install it?
It will, yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
You're gonna follow the sidewalk line essentially?
We are, yeah. It's gonna sit a little bit behind the sidewalk, and then it's gonna, because it's, like I said, it's an odd-shaped building, so the way, when it came out to do the estimate, so from where that wall to the pole is, that's where the fence will start, and then it will wrap around to where you see that pickup truck and that door on the side of the building, and then it's gonna go down Barrington to where the two cars are parked on the hill, on the slope.
And how is the fence going to interact with the wall that runs along Barrington from the corner to the driveway on,
So it's gonna sit behind the wall.
behind the wall?
Yeah.
Not on top of the wall?
No.
So I just wanted to follow some of the questions regarding the picture that you gave that has the chain link fence that's already pre-existing. And like, can you confirm whether or not that is like razor wire on top of it?
That is barbed wire, yes.
Okay. And is the fence that you're proposing going to have razor wire on it?
If it's approved for 8 foot, no.
No. Okay. But if it was 6 foot, you would need razor wire?
Essentially, yeah.
We would have to come back because that's not part of this application. You can't have razor wire on top of fencing.
You can't have razor wire at all in Upper Darby.
I mean, it must be
So-
non-conforming, I have no, but
Okay. That's, well, I just want to make sure that I. And so you said that you wanted chain link fence because you needed people to be able to see into the property, correct?
No, we need to be able to see out the
You
property.
need to be able to see out.
Right.
And there's no other equipment that you could possibly get that would allow you to see outside of your property, like a Ring camera?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason why?
I mean,
do you have a Ring camera now?
we don't, but we do have cameras.
Okay.
Right. And have there been safety issues even though you have these cameras?
Right, so when we thought about putting like the concrete block wall up, the angles from the camera, you won't be able to see outside of the wall. Like you're just like trapped into the building. So you can't see what's going on Marshall. You can't see what's going on Barrington. You just see what's inside that wall.
And could you like identify on this picture, like we're talking about the cameras that are the little white cameras here and here, right?
So it would be the cameras that's on Barrington, because the wall would essentially sit on top of the existing wall, but there wouldn't be a concrete wall surrounding the property on Marshall. It would just be sitting on top of the existing wall that's on Barrington.
But there's like nothing that would prevent you from installing a new camera hypothetically, right?
I mean, no.
If I could just follow up on some of that, do you have any concerns about the traffic that's at that area in the cornering and not being able to see outside?
Yeah, it's a busy intersection, you know, with a lot of accidents. When we bought the building, there was an accident that the two cars collided right in front of our paint booth. So, you know, without being able to see. Pretty much, we're blindsided. We could be sitting there doing something, and, a car could be coming right through, and we wouldn't even know. So if you could see on, I guess, exhibit, well, what's
It's
this?
A4.
A4, by the gas line, between the two front bays, that wall in the center is a newly built wall with the metal pole in the middle, just because of the accident that happened there prior from the traffic on Marshall and Barrington.
Have you had a engineer evaluate whether the placement of this fence at the corner of Barrington and Marshall will create any sightline issues for people exiting Barrington?
I had a surveyor done, and I also had a defense guy come out, and he said there wouldn't be any issues.
Someone pulling off of Barrington can safely see someone coming down Marshall past your building to pull out onto that street?
Yeah, so the stop sign sits like maybe 4 feet past our actual, like our corner where that truck is parked at. It sits a little further down. So yeah, once they stop at the stop sign, they should be able to see, just traffic coming down Marshall. So that sign that says "Do not enter" on the first picture, that's not the stop sign. It's further down the block, closer to the tobacco store.
Would L&I review site triangle?
Yeah, and they'd have to comply with the site triangle, which means they might have to cut off that corner. The fence might just have to go horizontal to it. That just might have to be how it is.
But that's part of the standard review process for fences.
Correct. And even if it is put there and there is a visibility issue after, right, we have every right to clear that triangle.
And I wanted to ask it, make sure I understood correctly, how I think you were saying when Greg asked about the white truck, the fence would, I guess, set back somewhat so the truck wouldn't be, I know that's a narrow concrete pavement going all the way up the hill, but the fence would be on the other side, your property side, where the cars wouldn't stick out as far as what we can see on this picture, right?
Right.
And then you said that wall, I didn't realize that was a wall, it's just a low wall. The fence would be on top of that wall?
It'll be on the inside of the wall. Yeah.
That's great. And a chain link fence, I mean, you can see through those, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the ones that you currently have. Okay, and everywhere there is no fence, you're planning on putting a fence?
Yeah.
Does it also mean that you won't be parking on the sidewalk?
I mean, the cars is on the sidewalk. That's not our cars. That's on one of the neighbors' cars. The fuck?
How many road cut or curb cuts do you have for this property?
Curb cuts.
Curb cut meaning to entrance, ingress and egress from your property. So entrance is off, I think there's one off Barrington, correct?
I mean, safely, just to.
No, but the curb cuts, where can you enter your property? Can you enter it from Marshall Road, or do you have to enter it from Barrington?
You can enter from Marshall and then Barrington.
So there's two, right? Two entrances?
Just two, yeah.
If you get your 8-foot fence, is it your intent to remove the barbed wire fencing areas?
The existing fencing?
Yes.
Would you agree to do that?
Yeah, we'll remove it.
He said yes.
Are you asking the removal of the entire fence or just the barbed wire portion? Just the barbed wire portion?
Right, just the barbed wire portion, correct.
So is that barbed wire fence 8 feet and then the fence is 8 feet and the wire on top is an additional foot or two?
Yeah,
Okay, so it would all be evenly 8 feet?
yeah.
Okay. So are you replacing the existing fence? From where?
Are you replacing any of the Marshall, the fencing on Marshall would stay the same, but you're saying if they grant you relief, you take the barbed off that part, correct?
Yeah, so the picture is this. So on the second picture of number 4, just the green portion will be removed, then it'll just be extended and going around the property.
So that's the only part that'd be removed is that green fencing? And be replaced with new fencing, is that right? To make the connection?
Right.
And so again, my colleague was just showing me a photo of existing fence. Looks like it's 6 feet tall, and then there's the barb above it.
No, it's 8 feet.
So that's an 8-foot.
It's 8-foot fence.
So that's maybe 10, not 10.
Like 10, yeah.
So it'll be evenly 8 feet over. Okay. Any more questions from the board?
I would just move the exhibits into evidence, with your permission.
Okay, and you're done with all of your presentation?
Correct.
Okay. So this time, is there any public comment? I think we say, okay, we have a couple. So if you guys can just move away from the podium, we'll have you come up one at a time. Please state your name for the court reporter, and she will swear you in.
Becky Duggan,
Spell your last name.
Duggan.
Yes, please.
You raise your hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give?
I do. I'd like to speak in favor of this gentleman being able to have his 8-foot fence. We all are well aware that crime is on the rise in Upper Darby Township. Cameras, you can give the footage to the police after the crime has occurred, and they might be able to catch the person. This gentleman is trying to protect his client's property and his own. I think that that is an important consideration that has to be taken, and I am fully in favor of this gentleman getting his 8-foot fence.
Thank you.
Your name, please.
Olivia Taylor.
Please spell your full name, please.
Olivia, Olivia Taylor, Taylor.
Do you swear or affirm that the original, do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I am in favor of this as well. I live around the corner from Avers Motors, and actually I use Barrington as a way to get to Marshall sometimes without the headache of 69th Street. So the fence, I had no idea to break in, and I'm very sorry to hear that. But as a driver who uses Barrington to connect with Marshall, I don't think that would be a problem. I think that would be a benefit. That curve is very dangerous. There has been plenty of accidents, and I think that would be a deterrent. So I'm strongly in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any other public comment? Great, seeing none. Madam Chair.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the fence.
Is there? Okay.
Following condition that the barbed wire, the existing fence will be removed.
Second. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Receive the written decision within 45 days of tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, David.
Okay. Our next application is 4/3/24. Application of Smoke Root Zone LLC for a special exception. I'm trying to turn this on. A special exception from section 55021C5 to permit a smoke shop in the C1 Commercial District. The location is 7409 Westchester Pike in Upper Darby. It's a C1 Commercial District in the 5th Council District.
Before we begin, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet. ZHB 2 will be the proof of publication. and ZHB3 will be the notice photos. Are there any persons, I'm sorry, are there any members of the public here this evening who would like to request party status for this application? Ms. Wentz?
Yeah, nearby.
Do you want to request, do you want to ask questions and present testimony and
Probably,
as a private citizen?
sure.
Okay. Where are you in relationship to, what's your address?
7549 Parkview.
Would it be accurate to say you're a quarter mile from the property?
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. McCreesh, do you have any questions for Ms. Wentz on her party status?
No, mister.
Objection?
No, mister.
Okay, we'll recommend to the board that we'll grant Ms. Wentz party status on this application. All right, is there anybody? Yes, please. Email address is, name and email address are the two most important things.
Okay.
Is there anybody else requesting party status for this application? All right, Mr. McCreesh, the floor is yours.
Yes, good evening. Name's John McCreesh, fourth tie D68944. Represent Smoker Zone LLC, and I have with me Rahim Al Mugadi. And if you could spell your name for the court reporter.
Okay.
First and last.
REEAM Al Muqdadi ALMUQDADI. D.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Bugatti is the member of Smoker Zone LLC. She purchased this business in August of 2023. It was already an existing smoke shop as it is now. She didn't change anything. She did not realize she needed a special exception. She was notified by the township in February that she needed a special exception. I think Josh or Al and I told her that, and she immediately applied once she got notice of that. There are no smoke shops within 500 feet of this location. Ms. Mugadi thinks the closest smoke shop is approximately a half mile away. If you go further down Westchester Pike, almost to, further down, almost the township line, right before you get the township line, I think there's one, and there's one or two as you get closer to 69th Street, but none are within a half mile of her location. She also needs 8 spaces within 200 feet, and there are 10 metered parking spaces along Westchester Pike within 200 feet of her store. She has about 700 square feet, and she's open approximately 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. How many days a week?
7 days a week.
7 days a week, okay. How many employees do you have?
No.
No,
Just me.
Just yourself, okay. And what products do you sell?
I do sell like glass accessories for any smoking devices, vapes, cigarettes. Typically, like that's almost all of it.
Cigarettes? Do you sell cigarettes?
No, cigarettes. No.
Cigars?
No.
No, okay. All right. And I don't have any other questions. If you have any questions of Ms. Mugadi? Mugadi. So,
Ms. Mugadi, you heard what your attorney testified to, and I know you don't have anything to add, but do you adopt all of his testimony as your own?
Yes.
No further questions for Mr. McCreesh. So Ms. Wentz, do you have any questions for the applicant herself?
I believe so.
Okay. So this is your opportunity. If you want to come up and sit in the first seat there, just make sure the microphone's on. And we can have you ask some questions.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Is this working? Testing 1, 2. I'm not hearing it.
Speak loud.
If anything.
Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 2. They're not working.
I just use that.
Sure.
I mean, as long as you're loud enough for the board to hear, it's fine.
So there's no one watching live feed because of live feed, if it's not picked up on the video?
We're concerned about the record in the room and the board hearing the evidence. What will be picked up online will get picked up.
Okay, I'll just steal the microphone and pass it back. Is that okay? Sorry, I'm just looking at the speakers, so I'm not causing feedback. So, I've passed your property many times. I walk to the train. And I might be getting your property confused with another one because the image that my friend brought up, sorry, I'm just trying to not cause feedback. The image,
You just want to stand up at the podium?
yeah, that's easier. Sorry, I'm sorry. So the image that came up on Google had it covered in that it's a grocery store, but there is so is your store a grocery? It's the smoke shop. It's the one that's, has the LED lighting around it and it says smoke on it.
Well, there's no LED light in there, only like small signs saying tobacco and like a smoke shop, that's it. I
So-
removed all the posters.
Okay, so it is the one that had the posters originally.
Well, there is one next to me, it has a lot of posters on it. But
Okay.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Okay, just trying to catch it. So,
Well, the number is on my store, is it like 7409?
uh,
Like the number of the store, it's on my
right,
door.
right.
It says smoker zone on there.
Yeah.
Smokers, right. And I've walked by it to the train. And it just, sorry, just trying to space relationship. I didn't realize that it hadn't been permitted beforehand or that it had changed hands. So I guess,
So just questions of the applicant at this point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll give you an opportunity to make statements about.
okay. Then I don't have anything. I'm sorry. I was confused by that.
Thank you. Board questions of the applicant.
Now, I'll ask the question, can you hear me?
Yes.
I know that we recently approved a daycare that's just a couple 100 feet, if that, away from your facility. I'm concerned about that.
No, I'm not sure, but I don't think there is any daycare close to that.
There is one that was
Okay.
approved.
The corner of Sunshine,
Okay.
corner of Sunshine and Westchester.
And do you, also, do you sell vape materials in there?
Yes. It's only the disposable, not the juice, not the big vapes. only disposables.
Okay, so I have some questions.
Yes.
My first is going to be related to, I'm sure your attorney advised you on the special exception and the three major requirements. The first being, if you're within 300 feet of a residentially zoned property, that the activities inside of the smoke shop are properly screened from public view, so that you can't see anything that's happening from, well, that's actually my question. What are you doing to ensure compliance with the 300 foot mark, speaking that the front of your property can be seen from across the street at the residentially zoned properties?
So it used to be like the front window of the store used to have a lot of posters. I removed all of that, and I just put like small sign, light sign. That's it. So you can see, and I'm planning to get more lighting inside. So like it will be visible from what's going on in the store.
I guess maybe there was a little bit of confusion. I guess
Okay.
my question is that we would, the zoning requirement would be asking for the opposite of that.
I'm sorry, I
They want you not to be able to see inside the store of
Oh, so I have, yeah, so I have the pictures, like I changed the decoration so you cannot see what's going on in there, only floor and very high, like, windows. So everything is covered and behind the counters. So the only thing you see, like a refrigerator for drinks and the floor from outside. Yeah.
Does your store sell any other products besides, like the smoke shop products?
No, only like snacks and drinks.
what kind of snacks and drinks?
Like chips and yeah, water.
And then looking at your site plan, just
Yes.
like some clarification for us, is this the front of the property?
No, that's the back.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is your front of your property?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And this is the cashier?
Yes.
And then you're saying the products are in the back?
Like you see this line, everything is behind. So everything you look at from the window, you will see only like, I have like I put a separator, so you don't see the cashier and you don't see the vapes. Only you see the through that you kind of walk in it. I have the pictures if you want me to show you.
Could you share?
Sure, it's on my phone, is that all right? It's on my phone. Or like a small, I have the drive.
You want, go up and show them?
Okay.
You can send them to Josh? Josh and Josh will fill them in.
You can show the board, and then after, so it's the
We'll mark, did you? We'll mark this as A1. Pictures. We'll also have to show them to Ms. Wentz after.
Like this. And then, thank you for sharing those pictures. It definitely helped put some more things in perspective. But you were saying that the only thing that you sell is like smoke shop products, like.
Yes.
But specifically not cigarettes, not cigars?
No.
No, okay. I did have a clarification on that because in the exhibits that were provided to us, it did say tobacco store. I don't know, is that like a specific clarification on that?
Smoke shop is our use under the ordinance, so.
Okay, so it doesn't matter, just ignore it, gotcha.
We can ask for clarification as to why the term tobacco store was used, but.
Yeah, but
No, I mean, from the.
yeah, Josh, if you would be able to.
No, not from Josh, I don't think Josh would know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The applicant, sorry. Hi. Could you elaborate why tobacco store was used in the exhibit?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Number, I don't, they're not numbered, but the page that was talking about zoning relief, that goes through the numbered, like, tables.
Okay. I think the last one.
Three says the proposal was for 700 square foot tobacco store / smoke shop.
Well, I think they all go in the same category because I'm selling like cigar rolls and I sell vapes, but not cigarettes, not cigars.
What are cigar rolls?
It's like a small cigars, but they are not cigars. They are like wrapped tobacco. I think so.
Is it like a roll of tobacco leaf?
Yes. Or maybe just like the leaves, that's it, sometimes.
For clarification, it would all fall under smoke shop, smoking
Yeah.
club, anything tobacco, vape, all the products. It's kind of
Right.
neither here nor there.
Yes, I have questions around,
Yes.
how long have you been there in this space?
Like a couple of months.
The existing lease was from 2020, which she assumed. So the other store started in 2020.
20.
She purchased it August 1st of 2023. Since it had been open for 3 years, she made the mistake of not realizing that did not have the special exception the previous owner did not have, so she thought it was okay. But
Yes.
again, she was notified by the township sometime in February, and then she ceased operations, she closed and went to get it legalized.
Okay, so you purchased the business last August. Did you look into, and I understand you weren't aware of it not being, permitted properly. Did you look into the other businesses or what was going on that strip? I think you said earlier you weren't aware there was a daycare there. But just any of the other businesses? Is there another smoke shop? I thought I heard you say that on that block.
No, the smoke shop
No,
is.
not the smoke shop.
is
They are at
half
least
mile away,
Yes.
further.
both
further.
ways.
And the daycare was not there.
At the time.
It's still actually not there. It just got approved a month ago. So it's a vacant building right now,
But did
she-
you look into any other businesses?
Of
prior
course,
to
yes.
being there? I mean,
Yes, I checked if there is like schools, if there is like any playgrounds. I don't want to like be close to any like this type of areas. I make sure that I'm not in a very like, with houses, not to be in between houses, just like a commercial area next to stores, no kids around. I tried and I checked about the smoke shops too. They are like, I know there is like one right around this area and the other ones is like more than a half a mile away from each direction.
okay. And I don't know if this is appropriate, but I just wonder, did you consider, I know you said you looked at schools, like when you looked at the space, did you notice that it was heavily populated with children, families? Just curious.
Yes, I did. And I know it's very far from like the school on State Road. It's like more than half a mile away, way more, like almost a mile. And the other one is like a half a mile away, either like a little bit like farther. And I think there's a church next to it too.
I guess I'm asking because it's residential, the streets behind. I know the strip is commercial, but I just wondered if you noticed kids.
That's true, but the thing is, like, all the areas about like auto shops in there, so you will find very little like families going around this area. So all the traffic will be behind my store, behind the strip.
Okay.
Or maybe down the street, I know like maybe 2 blocks away, there is a salon, I think, or something. It's like at least 3 blocks away. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
How many people do you employ?
Only me.
Only you?
Yes.
And you say you have that operating from what?
12 to 9, 7 days.
12 to 9, 7 days a week.
Yes.
That's rough.
I know. Yes, it's not easy.
I did have a couple of questions on specifically like, so, and please stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe in times past, like there's usually been some, I was looking at the lease agreement, and I guess my question was, when was the original lease set to expire?
It's 2020.
No.
Oh, expires,
yeah.
it's, I think the end of 2025.
It was a 5-year lease?
Yeah, 5 years,
term.
yes, yeah. Mhm.
And so that you have 2 more years.
2 more years, yes, yes,
And then do you have any documentation of permission from the landlord?
I do. I can send
She,
it to,
she can send it to Josh.
Josh,
She does that. She was supposed to print it out, but she didn't print it out, but she can.
I can show.
She has,
Yeah, I know.
his email is there, joshchase@upperdarby.org. J Chase.
Well, I
Jay,
think I have it. I
you have
sent
it?
him the,
So-
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
sent
send
him
them,
the
you send them the
notice.
pictures,
Yeah.
send them the permission.
Any other board questions? Mr. McCready, do you have any, I don't know if it's necessary, but redirect?
No, thank you, Mr. Holloway.
Do you have any other witnesses or testimony or evidence?
No, we would rest our case and just move for the admission of the documents, and she'll forward the permission she got from the landlord to Josh.
I guess the only thing we're admitting though are the pictures once we receive them.
Correct.
So at this time, Ms. Wentz, it would be your opportunity to present your case, any comments or other evidence that you may have. So if Mr. McCready, if you and your client don't mind ceding the podium to Ms. Wentz.
Thank you. So I do have a little bit of concerns. There are a lot of children that live in the, as you were asking, that live in the neighborhood behind. They actually have their bus stop at the corner at all the corners really of the streets coming out on Westchester Pike. There are a lot of children that do walk Westchester Pike. I do appreciate the hours, the fact that that the store isn't open until noon, but they stay open until 9. But I believe that's within the zoning, the smoke shop zoning laws that pre-exist. So, right. So to answer your question, there are a lot of children. As to that specifically, I don't necessarily have a specific case. I just, concerned in reference to smoke shops coming into our communities. I do understand it's it's something that a lot of people do, but we just definitely don't want it easily accessible to our children. So that's really all that I had to say. Thank you.
Mr. Fish, do you have any questions for Ms. Wentz?
No.
Are there any board questions for Ms. Wentz? All right, I think both parties have rested, so at this time, is there anybody who would like to make public comment, statements in support or opposition of the relief requested? So you'll remain under oath, but if you can, just state your name again for the court order.
Becky Duggan. I'm not looking to ruin anybody's livelihood. However, there are already a fair number of smoke shops. And as, I don't know, a lot of people should be aware, there is going to be a meeting on Thursday evening to discuss a new ordinance, revising the ordinance for the smoke shops. And I think perhaps it might be better, rather than rushing through another smoke shop approval, to maybe wait until we see the presentation on Thursday evening and find out what that all entails and get some community feedback before the zoning board rushes ahead and approves another one, which we all are aware, I mean, I don't know, maybe you're not aware, the community doesn't like them. We don't like them, we don't want more of them. So I would like to urge you to please not approve this at this time. Wait until we have the hearings regarding the revised ordinance. Thank you.
And so you're aware, the zoning hearing board is bound by certain statutory timelines that are set by the state. We're also bound by considering the application under the laws under which that exist and that are applicable at the time the application is submitted. So council's consideration of future laws are part of the jurisdiction of the zoning hearing board, and we can't consider what council may do in the future when we're looking at an application that's already been submitted.
Understood.
I just want to make everybody aware that we can't wait. We have to consider the merits under the laws as they exist right now.
I understood, but the residents are still going to feel the same way. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Any other public comment? Yeah. Please come forward. If you can state your name and we'll have you sworn in.
Karen Gonzalez, Gonzalez.
Can you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth?
Yes. I also have concerns about the children in the neighborhood. There is bus stops every street along there. And wraps that they're selling, we all know they're used to wrap other substances. And you will get those in the neighborhood. I know because I live at 6800 Market Street and we have smoke shops, and the police spend an awful lot of time there. I don't want that to happen to another neighborhood where there's a lot of kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? All right, seeing no further public comment, Madam Chair?
Yes, we would like to make a motion to go into executive session. The step next to.
Yeah.
I opened the board, this board, I put the thing a little further, and I said, oh, that place, one that's right next to it. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to deny this application. Can I
Second.
get, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Moving on to 4-4.4, application of Brown Sign for variance from section 558A to permit a used automobile dealership and auto tags, which is not permitted use in C1 Commercial District. Section 558B to permit more than one use on the property. The property location is 9242 Westchester Pike in Upper Darby. It's a C1 Commercial District, the 4th Council District.
All right, before we begin, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the proof of publication, and ZHB 3 will be the notice photos. Are there any members of the public who wish to request party status for this application? All right, seeing none. Gentlemen, if you can introduce yourselves.
My name is Khurram Hussain. Last name is Hussain, Hussain.
Could you just slow down a little bit and spell your name for me again, please?
Last name is Hussain, Hussain. First name is Khurram, Khurram.
My name is Mohtassim Hussain, Mohtassim. Last name is Hussain, Hussain. I'm speaking on behalf of my dad. We're seeking variance for a automobile dealership and auto tags. Pacifico Ford was used to be there, and
Wait, just wait a second.
yeah, cool.
So are you going to speak on behalf of your father just for the ease of
Communication.
communication?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to have them both sworn in, and so I'm going to have I'm guessing you're going to do the presentation on
Yep.
behalf of your father, but can I have you both sworn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
If you would
affirm?
raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Now, if you can give us your reasons for your variance.
So this is a C1 zoning district. Dealerships required C3. Seeking variance for a auto tag and dealership, as Pacifico Ford was there previously, like a while ago. Two other used car dealership were there, and McCam Auto Body was there. Enterprise just left 9240 up on town. They left to Township Line Road. Basically seeking variance so we can open up another used car lot over there.
Can you tell us a bit more about your operations? How many employees do you have? How many cars do you plan on keeping on the property? Your hours of operation, just that.
Cool. So I'm currently have 2 employees, including me and my other employee over here. And our hours of operation is going to be 9 to 5. And we're looking to keep around 5 to 6 cars on the lot.
So 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday?
Monday to Saturday, correct.
And you're going to keep 5 or 6 cars on the lot?
Yes.
And how many parking spaces are available on the lot?
We have around like 20 plus.
20 plus?
20 plus, yes. Is there any way you can pull up the photos of the
So that would include two parking spaces for employees?
Yes.
Another 6 for your stock?
Yes.
Which would be 8, and then the remainder would be available for anyone coming to look at the cars.
Yes, sir. And any auto tag work.
Do you have any plans to expand beyond 6 cars in your car lot?
No. Keep 6 at a time.
Are you doing any body work, inspections, rehabilitation of cars on the
No,
property?
there is a body shop under us, but that is not us. That is the owner of the property. And that would be Bodycraft.
Which lot, can you describe for the board the lot that you'll be parking cars in? Is it the lot that the billboard is in, or is it's this?
No, it's a lot that the billboard's in. So right here, and then if you can go to the previous picture, in front of these windows would be mostly the employee parking.
You're not occupying the building on the corner, you're occupying that building.
That front, yeah. That storefront.
So not where Enterprise used to be?
No,
Is it where Bodycraft?
Bodycraft is right under me. And I am right on top of Bodycraft.
You said 5 or 6 cars at a time. Are you storing cars at another location, or you only acquire?
Like at startup, yes, 5 to 6 cars only. We mostly move cars. You can't sell more than 6 cars in a year personally. And that's when, as personal, and then you have to start up a business if it's more than 6 cars. So that's what we're looking to do, start up a business and keep 5 cars at a time and keep on rotating them.
So as a individual, you cannot sell more than 6 cars in a year.
Right, without a dealer's license or being,
So you're not
without
planning
a,
on being a dealer or a used car dealer.
this is gonna be a used car dealership.
And then I'm trying to figure out the 6 cars. Can
No, as of right now, it's only gonna be 6 cars, but we have spots available that we can expand if we do plan to expand.
Oh, so you do plan to expand beyond 6?
In the future, in a year or so.
And in a year or so, how many cars do you plan on keeping on the property?
My plan is 10 max, and then 3 or 4 for employees as future employees as I hire.
And the remainder for customers?
For customers, yes.
And would you only have 10 cars to the business's name at a time, or would you have
Yes, at a time, only 10 cars.
no offsite storage or?
No, sir.
How do you acquire cars for your businesses? You go to auctions?
Through, we are planning to go through auctions, and then, yeah. It'll be only clean title cars, no wreck cars, nothing like that.
What the other uses on the property are just Bodycraft and the storefronts to the right?
Yeah.
Okay. Board questions?
Just point of clarification, do you repair the cars?
No, I send them to a mechanic shop. We do not personally repair the cars.
You don't have a mechanic shop there,
No,
so you would only be painting the cars, is that?
no, painting cars, that's Bodycraft, which is not us. We're only gonna be dealing with selling cars, buying and selling. Any repairs needed, it would go through a verified mechanic. Any body repair needed would be through, a verified body shop.
So I need clarity around several things. So I might be looking at an older aerial view on Google, but you're not in the Enterprise building. Are you in the one that used to be the concrete protector right next door?
Yes,
Okay, so then when you go along the side of that building, that garage door right there?
Right.
Is that your?
no,
No, that's a part of Bodycraft.
that is no one as of right now.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it was a part of that.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
You're in the concrete protector space.
Yes, sir.
And so then your cars will be parked where? In the lot? If I'm looking at your building and I'm standing in the middle of Westchester Pike.
Yeah.
and
The
your
lot.
cars be right in the front row?
So it would be front row, and it would be, see that garage? It would be the 3 parking spots right there. Yep, 3 parking spots for employees, and then the front would be for displaying the cars.
Okay, and how many spaces are for display, did you say? You hope, I wrote down 10
Yeah.
at a time?
Yep.
Okay.
And Bodycraft is right around the corner in the back. Yeah.
And so you also said that, I thought I heard you say you're gonna be a used, well, the description says a used automobile dealership
Yes.
and auto tags.
Yes.
So 2 uses.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's what I need clarity on. Okay, thank you. Are you operating now? I'm sorry.
We are not operating now. As we need zoning from township first, so we can get into state. Yep.
The second variance they're requesting is for multiple uses on the property, but I guess the board can note that this property has been historically used for multiple uses. Because there's existing at least 3 uses on, or 3 to 4 tenant spaces on this property already. Correct, Josh?
I need to check the parcel lines. See exactly where they are.
But at least Enterprise and Concrete Protector and whatever was in the upstairs of Bodycraft were all there at some.
I think that would be an appropriate assumption.
Okay.
there any?
No more questions? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that'll be it.
Is there any public comment?
We'll remain under oath. If you could introduce yourself.
Hello. Thank you. My only question, or I have a couple questions. One, so in the beginning, or concern, in the beginning, you're an individual selling cars and don't have a dealer's license. So I would hope that if it is approved, that it's approved on the concept of getting the dealer's license before you move up to the, beyond the 6 individual cars, because that's concerning. And then also, just as a space relationship, this property is on Westchester Pike, but behind it is Monroe Road, where an apartment, 4 apartments just got approved. So my only concern is that it doesn't go beyond the number of cars that could fit into its parking lot, because the residential area is now going to have new apartments with 4 more, more potential parking there. But if this becomes more than what its parking lot can handle as far as cars being sold, employees being working there, and people coming to park to buy the cars, then there will be coming overflow into the very same neighborhood that's getting overflow from the apartment that just got approved. So just wanted to do that clarification. So those were my concerns. Thank you.
So as she was speaking, we have nothing to do with Monroe. We won't use the entrance from Monroe. That is for Bodycraft only. We would be only using the entrance from Westchester Pike to enter the parking lot. And as you can see, behind the 3 white cars, if you can pull up the pictures, please. So if you look in the front lot, or could you pull up my pictures anyway?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one. Yep. So if you see behind the 3 white cars, there is a fence that blocks us only to this parking lot only. So we would be only using Westchester Pike as store our cars.
That would be metered parking.
No, there is no meters on Westchester Pike where the dealership is. That is zoned out as a loading zone. Yep.
So is all of that space where that fence is, because I know it goes down.
Right.
And there's a gate there. Everything in front of the gate belongs to you all, or do you share it with Bodycraft?
So only the front spots I'm approved for, and the back, like the 3 over there, 3 in front of the windows that we saw before, or where the red car was.
And that's a total of, you're saying you can get up to 10 cars at a time?
Yeah, there's like 12 spots for up on the display, and around 4 parking spots in front of the window. Could you switch pictures, please?
Like keep 10 cars for sale eventually on the property.
Right.
But I believe you said you had approximately 20 parking spots.
Yes, we have approximately 20 cars.
Can you give us a firm number of the maximum number of cars that can be parked on the lot?
Are they your spaces?
So the maximum spots that could be parked on the parking lot would be around 25.
Do they belong to your business?
14 of them are mine, and then if you see that back row, the back row is not mine.
You can only control 14 spots.
Yep.
So if you keep 10 cars on the lot,
Right.
have 4 employees,
I could get approved for more parking spots from the owner, and the owner is here. If you have any questions from him, that's Bodycraft.
well, I guess the question is, it's a zero-sum game right now.
Right.
If you want 10 cars and 4 employees, there needs to be spots for.
Well, that's the future if I do have 10 cars. As of right now, as I said, I'm only gonna keep 5 to 6 max. And I do plan on keeping 10.
I'm just going to advise you, the board has the ability to cap the number of cars you can keep on the property.
Okay.
So we're trying to understand,
Just to have the maximum capacity, right?
just trying to understand what your use entails.
Cool, right? So 10 max for selling or for displaying cars. And then you could put 2 for employees and then 2 for customers, as it won't exceed that.
Say that one more time.
As you can keep 10 for displaying cars, as for the dealership, 2 for employees, and then 2 for customers.
And you'll have no more than 2 employees?
No, not as of right now, because dealership doesn't really require that many employees.
How about 2 years from now? Will you have any more than 2 employees on site at any one time?
That I could not say. Maybe the business fails, and no, I do not intend. As of right now, I do not intend more than 2 employees.
So like looking at Google Maps, obviously to look at the parking lot, I think some of the discrepancy is when you look at it, you can see some of the faded parking spots. I think, would there be any, and I know the owner's here, but if there'd be any possibility of restriping the parking
Yeah.
lot to kind of avoid this issue?
We are redoing the parking lot.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you. And then during the restriping, would it be possible to kind of like designate which spots are for which business?
Yeah, we'll definitely have signs put up.
Would the owner like to testify that he is willing to do these things?
No.
I guess they'll.
How many parking spots are Mr. Hussein? It's doesn't pick me up anyway. But yes, let's swear. Thank you.
Raise your hand, please.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
swear or affirm the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can I have your name?
Stephen D'Antonio, D'Antonio.
How many parking spots in your lot are the Husseins entitled to use?
He's allowed 14 spots.
14 spots. Are all the spots in your lot already promised to tenants of the property?
No,
So there are available.
there are available spots, yes. And also around the back of the building where my business is at, he also let us store a couple cars in there if he had to. There's plenty of room back there. And I am in the process of redoing the lot, just had it paved, because it'd sit a couple days, I'm gonna get the whole thing recoated and striped. Trying to clean it up.
How many employees do you have?
That are working or that are there, sir? It's a different question.
How many employees do you have there?
5 employees at Bodycraft.
5 employees what?
At Bodycraft, at my shop.
At any one time? They're all there at one time?
Yes, they're all there at one time. And we own the 3 houses on Township Line, and there's just plenty of parking in the back. It's where I put my cars, and it's where my employees park.
The 3 houses on Township Line on the other side of the billboard.
Yes, sir. 9, 11, and 13.
Who's in 10? Why is it 10? I'm just curious.
Why is it 10 cars?
No, you said your additional by the house parking lot of spaces were 9, 11, 13.
That's where my,
12, 10 and 12 was, I was just curious.
that's where,
The addresses of the houses.
Oh, stop.
so, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. I apologize. Oh. Yes.
Okay. I have no more questions.
Anything else any of you would like to add?
I think that'll be it.
You're good, sir.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this application? I don't believe you've spoken yet.
I
Just
did not.
name will be sworn in.
Hi, Joanne Namavong, Nammavong.
Spell your last name one more time, please.
Nammavong.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. So I just want to say I've known Motashim for many years. I know their entire family, and anything he's saying here is they are honest, hardworking people. They're trying to. They're very hardworking. They're trying to improve their life, trying to improve the community. They're good members of this community, and I think this would be an added addition to this place. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Yes, I actually am really glad that we heard from the owner of the property. I'm really glad that they're repaving it, repainting it, and that if there's a need for extra spaces, that there are some available in his part of the property. So feel much more comfortable about it. So, thank you.
Any other public comment? Is there a proposal for conditions?
Just with the condition that the parking lot is restriped and that the spots are designated, like that they just identify which streets of the, yeah.
In any particular number, or?
We want to cap it, Jane?
Or do you want to provide, I guess the question is, do you want to provide for a minimum number of employee and customer
Okay,
spots
let's
out
do
of,
that.
out of whatever number
A
he's
minimum
entitled to?
of 2 spots for employees, 2 for customers, and 10 for cars, for selling cars. They said it right?
and for cars.
Yes, ma'am.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll receive a written statement.
Thank you.
All right. File application, application of renewal of Islam or variance, section 558A, conversion, of part of the existing grocery store to accommodate livestock housing and the slaughtering and processing of meat per halal regulations. A variance from section 558B to permit a grocery store and slaughterhouse on the same property. The location is 6770 Market Street in Upper Darby. It's a C3 commercial district in the 6th council district.
All right, before we begin, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the proof of publication, and ZHB 3 will be the notice photos. Are there any members of the public who would like to request party status for this application? Ms. Gonzalez, have you filled out the form?
Yes.
Where do you reside, Ms. Gonzalez?
6800 Market Street.
So I guess you're fairly close then.
Yes.
Mr. McCrease, do you have any questions for Ms. Gonzalez?
No.
Do you have any objection to her being granted party status?
No, Mr. Elder.
All right, I would recommend we grant her party status. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you are a party to this application. Is there anybody else who is requesting party status for this application? Seeing none. Mr. McCrease, the floor is yours.
Yes, good evening again. Represent Naeem Islam, right? Islam, he's the owner of the Taj Mahal grocery store there. He is Bangladesh, which he told me tonight is South Asian. Is it South Asian? South Asian countries, which is 12 countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, but they sell halal food as per Muslim custom, and he'll explain it a little better. They needs to be prepared and killed in a certain way, and therefore they house the livestock. In their proposal is it's about 1,800 square feet, and their proposals to use the back 1,000 square feet to house in cages would just be birds, ducks, chickens, maybe turkeys, and they would be slaughtered and prepared in the halal way, again, which he'll give you a little bit more about. Also, this is only the first step in the process. First, he has to get zoning approval, and then he can explain a little better. I know he has to go to the Department of Agriculture from the state and some county, and there's different licenses he needs to get county and statewide to do this. But first, he has to get approval from you if he can get the proper zoning. So with that, I have Mr. Islam, and right now you have what? It's just you and your sister?
Yep, it's a family-run business.
Okay. And how long have you been? Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Can you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep, I do.
Please.
Naimul Islam. Last name is Islam, Islam, and first name Naimul.
Okay, and right now it's a family business. It's you and your sister?
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. So, yeah, we're doing this like a small grocery. It's a family-run small business for the last 3 years, almost 3.5 years. So recently we wanted to convert it. Part of it is like he said, it's a 1,800 square feet store.
Slow down for you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right, sorry. So it's like approximately 1,800 square feet store. So part of it, it's a grocery store, like a halal meat store, and like a lot of Indian spices, Indian and South Asian spices, and vegetables, like grocery items. Now we wanted to like partially convert it within the store to sell live like birds or poultry, following the Islamic guidelines, which calls a halal made. It's like similar to kosher, the process. So that is what we are trying to like do. And before going for the approval, we needed to do this zoning first. Then, like he mentioned about getting more permissions and license from the USDA and Department of Environmental Protection from PA. Those are the next steps if we get permit from here. Like I said, it will be like a partially converted within the store that we have. And we are running this as a small business, like me and my sister, for the last 3.5 years. And we are Bangladeshi, we're an immigrant family from Bangladesh.
And Mr. Aziz, why is it important to do the livestock at this
right.
location?
So, like the Upper Derby, the township is one of the fastest growing like townships in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we have like a lot of newcomers here, a lot of Muslims who are coming in this township and residing. Like right now, there may be like 10 to 12,000 Muslim families within the Delaware County, or even more. Like that's a rough idea, or a rough estimate. So a lot of these people, they prefer halal meat, like the fresh meat, processed through like following a certain way to do it. That's why we feel like it would be like a really great way to serve our community, our Muslim community. And also, it's not only for Muslim community, a lot of like other like people of faith, like they do buy halal meat because of its freshness, because of it, like the quality of it.
And are there any places in Upper Darby or nearby that do that?
Not that I know of. Like no, like we are here for the last few years. We haven't seen anything like that. So I mean, there are a couple others outside, and there are like a lot of them in the city of Philadelphia, in downtown, in Chinatown, but haven't seen in the Upper Darby Township.
And what would be your hours of operation?
Oh, right. So the hours would be like 10 to 7 or 8 in the evening. And we have like 2 people, like our family members, who are working.
Is that 7 days a week or?
It's 7 days a week, and depends on holidays. Like there are Muslim holidays, there are annual holidays that we do not keep a store open. But yeah, it's like almost like 6-7 days a week.
I have nothing further for Mr. Islam if you have any questions.
Ms. Gonzalez, do you have any questions at this point for Mr.
Yes.
Islam? Sure.
You have to go to the
Sorry.
You said that it's going to be open at certain hours of the day. Who's going to look after the livestock?
Oh, myself and my like our staff.
But if you're only open for 8 hours of the day, who's taking care of what's going on for the rest of the 24 hours in a day? Who's going to be responsible for taking care of the livestock? That's my first question.
No, let Mr. Islam answer, okay?
All right. So we'll use cages inside, like to keep them inside the store. So they'll not be outside, they'll not be roaming around. It will be inside the store locked with maintained temperature, like following USDA rules and regulation and the Department of Environmental Protection. So we'll work with them to follow all the rules and regulation to keep them safe and hygiene. So they will be inside the store. They will not be roaming around outside. It will be like totally like inside the store, nothing outside. Anything else?
Another question?
I have some hygiene questions also.
Sure.
Is this obviously with slaughtering, you would have blood from the animals. How do you intend on making sure that that is contained, it's kept hygienic? We have a lot of residential neighbors, including, and also childcare facilities. We don't want more vermin, those sort of things
Yeah,
attracted.
that's a really valid question. So yes, so we already have a treatment system inside the store. We have a big sink to process some small fish and other things. So we do process our water, like the water we are releasing in the system. And there will be more, there will be another, what is that called? I forgot exactly what is that called. I was talking to the USDA person, just to get an idea how to run this. So they will put another treatment machine inside the store so that we are not releasing anything outside. So it will be treated before going into the system. So nothing going outside of the store. So it will be all cleaned inside, and we have it like a dumpster outside. And there's certain time, every 2 or 3 times a week, they're collecting all this stuff. That will be in the dumpster, nothing outside.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
Noise?
No noise, no.
I'm sorry, I live in the neighborhood and there's a lot of noise from all the businesses. I don't particularly want to hear chickens and turkeys and stuff.
No, I mean, yeah, there will not be
Understand.
any noises from birds that I can tell. Yeah, I have visited to some farms here in the city of Philadelphia, even in Chinatown. There are a few there. They're even smaller, like within 500 square feet. They're doing this, and haven't seen any issues there. And there are some in the one on Woodland Avenue. There's a Woodland Avenue. Sorry, in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia County. So that one is still even smaller than ours. So. Oh my God. I haven't heard anything. There could be noises if we had cattle. So we are not going to keep them cattle. That's only birds. And I'm sure they will not make noises.
Okay.
Any other questions at this time? Ms.
No,
Gonzalez?
I think I'm good.
We'll give you an opportunity to make statements.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
All right, so my first question is, when deciding to open this business, was there any consideration of other properties to do it? Like a slaughterhouse?
We were looking for places that could be a potentially good place, but we couldn't find anything around. And I thought there is quite a good neighborhood. We have a lot of walk-in customers there. So a lot of people lives around that area. A lot of them are Muslim community members. So they do come to our store they're walk-in customers. So considering those community members, we thought it'd be a great place for us.
I understand. It's a very high intensity use. In regards to the product itself, you mentioned that an inability to access halal meat. Is that, I guess, is it the testimony that the only places that your store would be able to get these products would be from Chinatown or Philly?
Oh, no. So there will be delivery from different farms and from maybe rural Pennsylvania. They have they have chicken store, farm. They deliver those birds to their store, in different part of the city and different part of greater Philadelphia, here.
So are you saying that there is the possibility that you could still provide these products without slaughtering them in the store? Is there the possibility, instead of producing the product, and like I said, excuse my ignorance if I'm not understanding it appropriately, that there's the possibility that you could order the products and have them delivered and still provide them through your store without slaughtering on property?
No, it will not be the same because the process of making it halal is different than how they do it outside, in different big companies or other. Some of them are doing it in New York, but we don't have it in Philadelphia. So New York has a bigger Muslim community, so they do have that kind of system in New York City, but I haven't seen anything here. So I don't know. I don't be able to answer that.
Are you saying then that all stores that sell halal meat slaughter their meat on site?
No, not all of them, but they do get from like even Jetro, like the restaurant depot, they have halal meat, but there's a different things. Like it's not like a lot of people like from our neighborhood, like from here, like Upper Derby, like they don't like it. I mean, we had it before. We already have a grocery store there, right? So we do have this halal meat from different places, but I mean, a lot of people they don't prefer it, so they do want to go to the farm, like even outside of the city. I mean, I went to Lancaster to get some chicken, like from a farm, and doing it like ourselves and seeing it and doing it just to satisfy that, like the community. That I mean.
No, I completely understand that. I think the question is like Lancaster is, well, Lancaster, and this is Upper Darby, and we're looking at the Upper Darby zoning code.
Right.
And the store that you're trying to operate in this specific location is what is in question. And so back to, and there's a couple of mentions of this, and this is just for the board's information. You're mentioning the disposal of waste material. In this case, we were talking about, excess products that come from the manufacturing of halal meat. You were mentioning that you would be draining it into the system.
No, there will be like treatment machineries inside. I mean, I forgot exactly the name of it, but there will be something that we will be working with USDA and DEP and also with the township to set up those machines in the backside. It's not that big one, but they do treat like all these materials before, like the water materials, like all this waste materials before releasing it. And this is the first step, like I said. So this is the first step. So we'll work on all these things with USDA and DEP and also with the township. So
I will,
to make sure that we are not dumping all these waste materials, yes.
And so there are, so as a use, have you considered any properties in the C4, which is usually reserved for industrial grade uses? Has there been any consideration of looking at properties in those zones?
Yes and no, both. Those are some like outside, and it's difficult for like our customers to go like from these areas. Like I said, like we have a lot of walking customers, and a lot of them are women. Like a lot of them don't drive here too. So
On the yeah, go for it.
Could you not have a separate facility where you slaughter the animals and then sell the meat at your store?
So seeing does matter a lot for the process of halal. Like, so the customer wants to see it and pick their own birds, like which one they want to buy. And that way, it makes it more preferable. So
That's a preference issue, right? Not a requirement of halal.
No, not a requirement for halal, yes.
And on the issue of noise specifically, I know you had mentioned that there would be no noise, but we do have some people in Upper Darby that do actually own chickens. It's not an entirely foreign concept to the zoning hearing board. There is a lot of noise production. I definitely had a lot of more questions about waste disposal because, I mean, chickens produce a lot of waste. How do you plan to regularly maintain these cages, dispose of it? And then also I'd assume there'd be a lot of food that needs to be delivered. Where would your deliveries be taking place? Would they just be street side? Same thing for waste pickup.
Okay, so first of all, there are details guideline from USDA to do all these things. So we will have employee trained, and they will get like some kind of certification. Even before starting the business, we have to get those training from DEP and USDA to run. Like they do like training for a couple of days. So it has to be myself and my employees to pass the exam and do these things so that we can maintain and keep all these birds safe inside the store. So yes, there will be training, and there is like guidelines, detailed guideline for this too.
Well, I guess my question is like, I mean, yes, this is not the USDA, this is the Upper Darby Zoning Board. I'm asking about specific questions related to our zoning and the intended use. So when I'm asking about sanitation, pickup, like we need to take those into consideration, such as like loading zones and pickups and drop-offs. So that's not the USDA, that would be our purview.
Right. No, I'm just saying like we will follow those guidelines that will like cover all these things to maintain hygiene inside the store and also making sure the birds are safe and not making noises.
So do you not have a plan specifically? Like, I mean, like you're just waiting on USDA guidance, but you don't have a plan?
No, we are waiting for the permit from you, like from the township, so that we can start the next step. And yes, we do know those I already did my research on it. So now waiting for the township to have this zoning permission, so that we can start the next step.
Do you know how many, like you was asking about deliveries, do you know how many like trucks you would have to have?
Oh, they have like a small van to deliver like 100, 200 birds like every other day or every week like that. It's not going to be a big operation. It's like a small operation. So like they will have like a small van to deliver it, and we have like a street parking both sides of our store. So it is not like a big truck going to deliver those.
And I will, I guess this will be my last question before I turn it over, because I'm sure the rest of the board has plenty more, and I don't want to drag it out. So you mentioned like a delivery truck could technically drop off meat, right? I know you had mentioned that it would be live birds, but I mean, there are halal markets in West Philly that are more than an 8-minute drive away. That would be an 8-minute delivery. And you're saying that those are not, you're not able to do, you're not able to schedule deliveries for already processed meat. Like it has to be produced on site.
Sorry, so I'm sorry, I didn't get it. So
Yes. So what I'm saying is that there are nearby stores that do have halal meat that has been processed, right? And I'm asking, you've considered those options and they're not viable.
we already have part of it, yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So our grocery store, we have like only halal chicken, just not all of them, but like we can get only chicken, nothing else. So those are processed in a like industrial scale, and those are not viable. Yes, you're right, and also like it's not preferred by the customers. Like
Have that in store right now.
in a small amount, yes.
Okay.
Because it's not like I said, it's not viable.
Thank you.
How many chickens would you have at any given time of delivery?
It depends, like sometimes like during the Ramadan time or during the Eid time, it would be a little more, but on a regular basis, maybe 50 to 100 or 150 birds.
I'm trying to just understand the concept. And so as they go or sell, how do you replenish it? Would they all go at one time? Would 1/3 of them go? How does it?
Like,
Replenish what has been sold and used? Because I'm guessing like if you're selling a lot of birds every 2 or 3 days, you have to do a lot of cleanup and preparation for the new birds to come in.
so it will be weekly. That's what we have planned for. Like it'll be only like every week. So like the delivery wise. So we might get like 50 to 60 or maybe like the maximum 100 birds delivered every Thursday or Wednesday, because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those 3 days are like the busy days for our business. So we'll get delivery on Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll clean it up on Saturday night or Sunday night.
And can you explain again the reason why you chose to want to process recycling?
Oh, because of the need of the community, because like a lot of community members have asked, like if they could get like fresh meat from there. Like we have a family friends here too, to support the idea too. So, I mean, this is from our own experience. I mean, we are, and like I said, it is a small family-run business, so we found it like it might be good for the business, for our family, and also for the community. So that's why. Because we are already an existing business there, we have the experience and we know the community. That is why we wanted to do it there.
But you know, in real estate, always location, location, location. So I know you already have the location for your business, but processing part of that, it just doesn't, it doesn't seem conducive to your location. In terms of, I'm not saying it can't happen, but trying to make people on the board understand how it is conducive to what I respect their.
Yeah, I mean, if I can show my picture, the inside of the store, I mean, I can show you here. Josh, please. Yeah. Okay.
And sanitary purposes, how do you not transfer if you're back with birds on and walking with your shoes or your feet, your covering, your, how do you not transfer to where you're actually selling the product?
Not transferring to,
Like how, bacteria, germs, how do you not transfer it from your one building, from one point to the production or, I don't want to say slaughter part to the sale part? How do you not transfer?
all right. This is inside the store, so like if you say that in the back, we want to, yes, exactly. This is the part we want to use, like half of it to put some cages on both sides of it. And like the front half will be the grocery. All these items will move to the forward, and in the back side, we want to like bring some birds, and those will be slaughtered. Like the process will be followed in the back side. You see the meat section, so we'll put it there in the back. And we have like enough space in the back too. Like we have like 150 square feet in the back. And within the store, I mean inside the store.
And what about, I think it was increase with the FDA, the ventilation, the type of casements that they need to be on, I'm just trying to set my mind around being in the store, one portion of the store, frozen chickens, that I'm going to.
And there will be ventilation system too, yes. We have to install those things too, yes. We have to install the ventilation too, yes, you're right.
Who else is doing this?
Oh, I mean, I saw some in the city of Philadelphia, and what else? I haven't seen here, but yeah, like in downtown in the city of Philadelphia.
I think Chinatown, they have a lot.
Chinatown have like a
And
lot
I
of
think
them.
you said the closest location
It is
is
Woodland
Woodland
Avenue,
Avenue. But,
most of them in the city,
and I think
in
they
the city
said,
of China.
I thought you said there's one in Lansdowne also.
Yeah, Lansdowne is the further down. I mean, I don't know, but like that guy I was talking about, yes.
You're saying facilities on Woodland Avenue and Lansdowne are doing the slaughtering on site?
Yes.
Just for clarification, I know we've talked a lot about chickens, are there any other animals that are involved in planning on keeping them on site for slaughter?
No, only just birds.
Well, you said maybe a duck or a turkey, right?
Birds like the hen, duck, fowls,
Just
yes.
fowl.
Yes.
Just birds.
And the Woodland, I'm curious, the Woodland Avenue locations that you've seen, is it a lot of industrial, because it's kind of back, is that in the industrial area?
It's a similar to the one our location is, Margaret. That one is even busier. No, I went there a couple of times in the nighttime. It's by the Baltimore Avenue. Like if you drive down the Baltimore Avenue, it's on the right-hand side.
The environment,
It's in Upper Darby.
Please don't call out.
Sorry.
is the environment in, like a residential or business?
It's mixed, yeah.
Industrial, it's different, because I know like down, there's a lot of warehouses and industrial areas, I was just curious on the processing plants.
Yeah, that one is a mixed area, like a residential and businesses. There are a couple of restaurants. I saw like Ethiopian restaurant there, and some others like a Spanish restaurant too.
I have recently driven by your property that you have, not restaurant, but your building, and I was concerned that I was seeing loose boards.
Oh, we had an accident.
Taken care of.
Okay, so it's like a taxi driver drove into our store like a couple of months ago. So we're still waiting for the insurance.
Haven't taken care of it?
Oh, my landlord is working with the insurance company. Yes, they're in the process. Yes, they will do it soon.
I guess I'm somewhat concerned at the speed of addressing these issues, because that is an area that would be affected to allow rooms to come in, rooms to get in your store, which wouldn't be very good for your business. I'm concerned. I look at your interior that you showed, how stocked it was. Where's the space that you intend to do this? How are you going to keep it clean? Where's the stuff going? I realize this may be beyond the zoning board requirements of space and things like that. But I don't think we have enough space there to mark cages and cleanup associated with it. And you said you had yourself and your sister.
Oh, yes, and I mean, if we we might need to hire like 1 or 2 people to help us with this, yes, if we expand this, if we get the permission, so yes.
You're talking about trying to take 30 to 50 chickens, slaughter them, put them out, or keep them alive.
Yes, sir, so, I mean, like I said, so if we get this.
Sorry, it's my own lack of understanding and trying to recognize what's happening in the community.
No, sure, I mean, this is why I'm here to explain what I'm planning to do or what I want to do. And we need your support and your permission for that too. So the first of all is, yes, I mean, we had an accident like on February 1st, the one taxi driver drove into there, and our landlord is working with the insurance company to fix it. So hopefully they'll fix it by the end of May. And second one is, yes, like we have a stuff, because like I said, this is an existing business. This is an existing grocery store. So we are trying to convert part of it. And that is why I'm here. That is why I'm like standing here in front of you. So once if we get the permission, then yes, we'll clean up some stuff and do like remodel it.
How does that impact your business in terms of not just relationships with that, but processing space, the rest of the store, employee, system?
So yeah, that would be like USDA certified again, like the meat or the chickens, that those will be certified by USDA. Yes.
It could be certified, but it could be sick.
Yeah, there's problems now with bird flu.
I did have one quick question, and it was, we mentioned a couple, there's been a lot of things that we mentioned, but directly relating to the neighboring tenants and the neighboring businesses. Have you talked with them at all?
Oh, the next one is my landlord himself, so he gave me the permission.
Other side.
The other side, no, we didn't hear anything from them. I mean, the home care company, no, we didn't hear anything from them.
Who is next to you?
The Apple Home Care.
And what do they do, you know?
The home care services for elder care, and also the dentist, yeah, it's a dentist office too, next to our building.
That's your landlord, the dentist.
No, landlord is a lawyer, so yeah, the next to me.
I don't have any further questions.
Any other evidence you'd like, or any redirects?
No, he has one witness, he just briefly, it'll be 2 minutes. And,
State your name, we'll have you sworn.
Oh, hi.
Your name, please?
Muhammad Asif, first
Can you
name.
just spell your full name for me?
Mohammad. Last name is Asif, ASIF.
ASI.
IF.
F? Okay, thank you. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Asa, if you listened to the testimony and the questions, and we're late at night, so could you just briefly tell the board why it's important to have this store and how far you have to go to get a similar store and where you live?
I live in his Upper Derby area, and I know him, this guy is long time. And he's honest family and hard work he do. And we need, this area, five mosque, big mosque, Muslim religion. And one time pray on Friday time, go the 5,000 people. One masjid, only Medina Masjid, Upper Derby Islamic Medina Masjid. And here by the Garrett Road, one masjid. And 5 mosque is the almost 12,000 people go the Muslim people go the mosque prayer. And Muslim people like the Islamic religion, they slaughter chicken, birds, this authentic, fresh food like we are Muslim people. And we need very important this area. They have the far center city busy area there, very far.
Okay. So it's important to you to get the fresh bird.
Fresh, yes, very important.
And where do you have to go, how far do you have to travel now to get the fresh bird? The one on Woodland Avenue, you said is the closest?
Far. Woodland Avenue is very far.
How long does it take you to get?
There is 40 minutes this area. We have this area very neat, important this area, Muslim people, this slaughter, chicken.
Okay, and could you explain, there are some questions before. What's the difference between getting the live bird or getting like halal meat that's maybe produced someplace else?
Halal meat?
Well, if it's produced, one of the board members said, can't you get it slaughtered somewhere else and then sent to his store? Is that okay, or what's the difference?
Obviously difference. This one, this is halal. And others one is taste, is different taste.
I'm sorry, can you guys? Sorry, thank you.
Sometimes you bring the market chicken, this one is live chicken, is different taste. Different, very different, authentic, fresh. You can try, you can bring the Woodland Avenue and you eat. Sometimes this is very taste and we need very live. This is live. And other one, we will bring the market. That is not sometimes is fresh, sometimes is the frozen,
Thank you, Mr. Asif. I don't have any other questions, so if you have any, Mr. Asif, that's it.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you have any questions for Mr. Asif?
No.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Asif? Thank you, Mr. Asif.
Thank you. We don't have anything else.
Ma'am, do you have a procedural question, or?
I have
Not you, Ms. Gonzalez.
not me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just speaking in general.
Okay,
comment?
so we'll have public comment at the end.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, I'm sorry.
So Ms. Gonzalez, now is your opportunity to present any testimony or evidence that you, or call any witnesses that you would like.
Can you come out here? Sure.
I don't have anything. I do have another question though, if that's okay. Security of the property, because we have a lot of homeless in the area, and there's a lot of crime also. So I'm concerned about the security of the livestock.
We'll have an answer, but do you have any statements you'd like to make to the board about the application at this point? Like your experience, your opinion on the application as a party to this?
I just have my concerns. I think that.
Okay. So can you address the security question then?
Oh, so security for human beings or security for the birds? Or
The security of your facility.
security of my facility.
Your store. Yeah, your building.
So,
How is it secured? Do you
oh, we have security cameras, yes. Yeah, we have security system inside, yes. We don't have outside camera, but we are going to install one for the outside, yes.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Gonzalez?
No.
Does the board have any questions for Ms. Gonzalez? It's all.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand how this works.
Sure.
Can I make a statement that I'm against?
As a party, you can testify right now.
Okay, I'm very much against this application for the livelihood of our neighborhood, and it's a mixed neighborhood, not just one. Thank you.
So now would be time to ask for any public comment. These are statements in support or in opposition. So you can, I don't believe you.
I did. I'm sworn in.
Did you before? Okay, so you remain sworn. Can you just state your name again for the court?
Olivia Taylor. As you can see, I was horrified and I just couldn't stomach listening to this. The reason why you haven't seen it, because it doesn't exist in Upper Darby Township. You're talking to a 25-year resident. This was a beautiful place to live and it still is, but this is not a third world country. This is not. You keep talking about Muslims. You're mixed race here. You got Catholics, you got the Greek church down the street, you got Christians. So you have to respect everybody. We have animal lovers here. He just said 125 chickens. You mean to tell me it's not going to be any noise? Stop it. It's going to be absolutely noise. The smell. What about the carcasses? We have cats because we don't have any animal shelters. The feral cats running around the streets. The squirrels. What about 90, 100-degree weather? When it's, oh my God, please. If nothing else, please, I hope this board just says no, no. They've been here almost 5 years and they've been buying meat before from other places. Please, they can go back and buy them again. We do not want this in our backyard. Please, thank you.
Sir, if you can introduce yourself, and we'll have you sworn in.
Okay, Chris Fabre,
Spell your last name.
Fabre.
Okay, you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth?
I do. Strongly object to this. I read up on this a little bit and just the cruelty to the animals. I think that's horrible. And I've been listening to this. It's horrifying. Upper Darby is not farmland. This is not Lancaster County. I mean, and if you pass this, it'll set a precedent because what's to keep other stores from doing this all throughout Upper Darby? And then we get are you going to have a specially trained L&I inspectors to deal with this? That's another, it's going to cost taxpayers more money for that. And what is wrong with going where they're doing this now and getting your product? I just think this is so wrong for Upper Darby. I mean, it's, like I say, it's going to be throughout the township then. What's to keep it from doing that if you approve this tonight? So I strongly object. Okay, thank you for your time.
This statement again.
Becky Duggan. I would also like to speak against this. not just for the sake of the animals and how, you see them in cages and things like that, but are they going to have proper ventilation? I don't know if any of you people have ever been near a chicken coop or where they keep a lot of chickens. Wow, that is rough smell. And there's houses right behind here. Houses right behind. How are they going to handle just the ventilation of that amount of, I know they say chickens, they're small, but they create a lot of mess. And it's not something that we need. We already have a lot of problems in that neighborhood. We don't need to add to this. Thank you.
Laura Wentz. I have the utmost respect for the Muslim religion and the need to get specialized food for the religion aspect. My concern is there is already a slaughterhouse of this type in Upper Darby Township in the 7-6. It's in the industrial section. I believe it's a C4. I think you referenced it, but you didn't realize that it's actually part of Upper Darby Township and not far away. And in that specific slaughterhouse, its name is Medina, and it talks about poultry, but it also does large animals, sheep. I've seen them myself. So, and I actually called L&I on it because I had no idea, as a council person, I didn't know we had one in our township. And I was told that they were legit and everything was good. So, but it's not far away. So it's not how it's been described. And it is in a more industrial setting. There aren't houses right there. There are houses a couple blocks away, but they're not right on top of it. So I would be concerned about the smell. There's also a meat packing plant at the end of Market within Upper Darby before the public storage, before the Life Center. That also has intense smells, especially during the winter time or summertime. So I'm definitely concerned about ventilation and the aroma of not just the living chickens, but then when they're dead and the carcasses are in the dumpster, if it's emptied 2 to 3 times a week, if it's a heat wave, that's gonna be an issue. On top of the smells that those neighbors already have generally. So I am concerned, but I just wanted to clarify that there is a plant already, or a halal poultry and live animal in Upper Darby in the 7-6. And I believe it's the C4 industrial section, which is where it's allowed. So I am very concerned about this happening in a residential area. So, thank you.
Joanne Namavong. I'm sorry, Joanne Namavong. While I respect and I'm happy to hear all the research that they're doing and going to follow PA Department of, it's not, can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay, PA Department of Agriculture, and EPA, et cetera, et cetera. This is the wrong place for it. There's so many residents here. There's businesses there. People walk by, they shop there. And I just think I respect everybody's right to follow their religion, but it's got to be in the right location. This is going to impact too many people. It's just, I don't know that you can contain the health hazard. So that's my concern. So I'm asking you to not approve this application.
Any other public comment? recess.
Now it's 3-1.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to deny this request.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay,
So
thank
receive a
you.
decision within 45 days.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, it would be appropriate at this time, since there is no further business, to take a motion to adjourn.
Aye.